Breakdown of Petr Yan here. Going through the pound for pound rankings again. Uh, so he likes to go with that inside leg kick there. He kind of slides up pendulum style with that inside leg kick there, attacking Jose Aldo. And I'm just looking at the Jose Aldo fight. I like how he throws his head kicks kind of from close range, and this is interesting. Behind his head kick, he kind of throws almost like a overhand left, but it's a lead hand forward, so it's kind of like a downward sloping hook slash overhand off of the head kick. I thought that was pretty interesting. That's something I don't think I've ever seen anybody throw before. It's an interesting technique, and it seems like it might actually be effective. Um, Stepping in with a jab there, clinching up. He's got a good, strong clinch, good, strong grappling game as well. And then he likes to step in with wild punches, switching his stances as he steps in. He uses that to angle off, bounce, go back to a neutral stance, and then shift back. He goes southpaw here for a second and then switches back to orthodox. So sometimes he goes southpaw, sometimes he goes orthodox. He's primarily an orthodox fighter, though. He does fight a little bit out of southpaw. Here, Jose checks that inside kick. He throws like a low inside calf kick. Jose leans in, checks it a little bit. I wanted to just highlight the toughness here of Petr Yan. He barely even winces. He gets right back into it right after that. Anybody that's had a kick checked like that knows that that's extremely painful. And the fact that he just kind of brushed it off and went right back at it tells me that he's one tough gentleman. And then stepping in here, jab to an overhand, and then stepping into southpaw for that, and then back to orthodox. So he likes to step into his punches. Some people call that a pulling technique almost, or just stepping into southpaw when from his backside punches to get more power into it and to change the angle. Again, good work here. Moving. He's always got a good high tight guard. Always keeping that right hand nice and tight up to the face. Got a good defensive position here. He likes to mix it up. I like this, how he goes to the body repeatedly with that jab. What that does, if you look at kind of the body position here, when he's throwing that jab, the way he's stepping in with that jab is the same way that he steps in when he throws kind of a looping overhand. So by programming Jose to kind of drop his hands and to think going to the body when he changes his levels here, that sets up some good overhands that he lands later on in the fight. So I thought that was an interesting point. He does take a few powerful leg kicks here from Jose. And I think he could do a little bit better job of checking those, but he does. I just wanted to point out actually that initially he takes some pretty hard leg kicks, and again later on in the fight he takes some leg kicks, but he does have some good evasive movement that I'll show in a little bit here. To check or not to check, but to evade those kicks. Again, stepping in with powerful punches here. So that's what I was talking about right here. So Jose throws another leg kick. He just slides back, and he's able to get out of the way of that leg kick. So good awareness. I like. He seems to be the physically smaller fighter here compared to Jose. So another reason why I'm kind of a fan of his. Again, highlighting his head kicks from a close range distance. The kneecap, so he's hitting with like the high part of the shin, the kneecap. It's almost like throwing a knee to the head from such close range. But what that allows him to do is right off of the head kicks, it allows him to stay in punching range. So it's, again, an interesting thing that he does. Another leg kick landed by Jose. And eventually he ends up switching to southpaw, I believe, as a result of some of those heavy kicks. I like that he tries to catch the kick here when Jose throws, so he blocks 2-on-1, and then he kind of tries to catch, thinks about countering for a second, and then moves back in. Touching gloves just a little bit, trying to find range. Good defensive takedowns, good takedown defense, excuse me. Jose steps in, tries to take him down. Good scramble, comes back to the feet, ends up in dominant position, and I like he's got good ground and pound here as well. If you look at his posture here, his shoulders are above his knees are pinched in tights. He's on the He's on the balls of his feet here, so he's in a good position to land powerful shots. And you can tell that he's squeezing his thighs together, and that's what you want. You want to control your opponent's hips while maintaining dominant position. And that's what he does. He does a good job of landing some good, powerful shots just at the end of the round here, end of the first round. Again, Jose ends up landing some powerful leg kicks over and over and over again. 3 of them there in a row early on in the fight. I like, again, how he kind of goes down to the body. And if you look at Jose, if he would have thrown an overhand there, Jose's head was wide open. Jose is kind of leaving his body wide open and his head wide open there. He just looks away in that position. It looks like Jose was kind of already starting to get worn down at that point, just a little bit. And then again, so from southpaw now, he flashes the jab and then throws a powerful backhand punch. So that's something I wanted to talk about, is that he's good. He's got good power punches from both stances. And that's something I've been noticing as I go through these pound-for-pound rankings. That's something I've been noticing a lot among a common thread among these high-level fighters, is that they have the ability to throw power shots from both stances effectively. Again, from the southpaw stance, he throws a power shot, ends up in orthodox, changes levels a little bit, and then bounces back on his toes. Again, good with that. He's doesn't have a ton of different strikes that he throws, but he does mix it up a little bit. So he throws that inside leg kick. He's thrown head kicks from both sides already. Again, with that power shot from southpaw. And then I like how he has great footwork here. From the southpaw position, he steps in, he ends up in orthodox, and then he shuffles out to the side and has good defensive awareness and posture to make sure that Jose's counters don't land. And then he's off moving, again with a high guard. Good punches coming in from Petr here. Again, from that southpaw stance, flashes the jab and then comes in. I think, although I don't know this for sure, I think he switched to being predominantly southpaw in this fight because of Jose's attacks on his orthodox stance when he was left leg forward. And again, look at this good defensive awareness. So able to roll under Jose's punch there, throw power punches of his own, and then I like how he throws that kick in there as well. So he has good attack, good defense, and then he ends with a kick at the end. So really great work by Petr there in that position. Again, looks to be at the end of the second round. Looks to be well conditioned, in good shape. Doesn't look to be tired, even after having some pretty powerful exchanges with Jose. So I would say that would be another one of his strengths. Is he's always well conditioned. He has really good clinch position, and something I look for when I'm steadying a fighter is what they do in the clinch with their head position. So he's got good head position. He's controlling Jose's, so he knows that he's got that right collar tie. He knows the threat most likely isn't going to come from that side. So he's controlling Jose's right arm where the threat is most likely to come from with his left arm. He had pretty good head position, pretty good wrist control. So again, he looks good in these clinch positions, and from what I've seen from his grappling exchanges so far. Really great at covering the distance. Look how much ground he covers with these power shots. So he steps in with that jab, a hard shuffle step with that jab, and then again a hard backside punch. And he starts this 1-2 combination, just this jab cross. He starts almost on the backside of the octagon. You can see that his back left leg is backed up against the inner black line there, and then by the end of this 2 here, he's already past the midline of the octagon just from 2 punches. So he's really great at covering distance, closing the gap, and forcing his opponent to fight off of the back foot so that they don't have as effective counter shots. Good tight guard. And here I just wanted to add this clip in to show how he deals with adversity. A couple of times Jose put some pressure on him, landed some good shots, and he was able to just kind of move with it, eat the punches, and then here he fires back his own punches, gets Jose to back up. So again, he's tough. He knows how to handle the pressure, and he can push through a little bit of adversity. And then again, stepping in, he doesn't keep that back leg planted here for this overhand. He steps in to close the distance, and then he bounces a little bit there. I like this footwork here. So again, throwing over with that left hand, dragging that left leg forward, going from a southpaw stance, right leg forward to kind of almost an open stance, maybe even orthodox stance, pivoting out, and again continuing to throw powerful punches and then stepping back into southpaw. Um, Again, he started the fight fighting mostly orthodox, and then the last 3 or 4 rounds he fought mostly southpaw. So good overall. His strengths are good defensive awareness. He's powerful punches. He closed the gap. He's great at closing the gap and switching stances. So he's very powerful from both stances. He's good at closing the gap. He's got a good high guard. I like how he throws his head kicks from close in. He mixes things up. He throws kicks. He throws knees sometimes. Good defensively. He's really good and very strong and powerful in the clinch. Just an overall great fighter. Not super unpredictable, but unpredictable enough. Again, I think that he's not going to surprise you with anything that he does out there, I don't think, but he's good enough at mixing things up to where he stays unpredictable enough. And again, I'm noticing with going through these pound for pound rankings, I'm noticing that the ones that are successful are the ones that are good from both stances and the ones that mix things up. And they don't focus entirely on grappling or entirely on striking, but they're good in all those positions, and they're really good at just mixing it up between those positions, and in a lot of ways just outpacing their opponents with feints and unpredictability. Again, good clinch position here, good head position, good wrist control. Making sure that the threat from Jose is mitigated there by controlling that hand. So good grappling exchanges from Petr Yan here. I like how he throws, again, we're in the tail end here, 2:13 left in the 4th round, and he has enough energy to pull down on the back of the head of Jose and jump up with a sort of flying knee there. So he's got, again, just wanted to highlight he has great conditioning. Here we're looking at the finishing sequence. So he's able to, again, land some powerful punches here on Jose. Lands an uppercut there that ends up putting Jose down. And good ground and pound here from the top. Again, so you see that he's got his left hand on Jose's ankle there to control for the up kicks. He's got good ground and pound, good awareness of what's happening. Throwing punches there. He's able to pass Jose's guard, gets to a dominant position. So here he's kind of in a half guard position. Jose's kind of trying to get a knee shield in there. He's able to pass the guard eventually and just ends up beating down on Jose here until he gets the finish at the end of the fight. So I don't think I have a whole lot of insightful things to say about Petr, except that I would say that I noticed, again, he likes to throw powerful punches from both stances. He likes to use his power punches to switch stances. He likes to throw head kicks from a close-in range. And he just seems to me like a very well-disciplined, very strong, very physically conditioned fighter that's very disciplined. And so I think that's really his... He's not exceptional, really. He is exceptional in that he can do all those things together, but there's no one thing that stands out to me about him, except that, like the other pound for pound, the other men at the top end of the pound for pound rankings, he likes to throw power punches and power kicks from both stances. So that is as far as I can go with just this one fight breakdown of Petr Yan versus Jose Aldo. I think potential opportunities for future opponents versus or against him might be to kind of do the same thing that Jose did. So Jose clearly got him to switch stances with his power side kicks on his orthodox leg. So when he was left leg forward, he was able to land enough to make him uncomfortable standing orthodox, and so he predominantly fought southpaw. So if you can attack his leg, whatever his lead leg is, if it's orthodox, attack that lead leg, and then if he goes southpaw, keep attacking that lead leg. And it seems like that might mess up his movement a little bit, but no blatant weaknesses, and he's overall just a really great fighter, and he deserves to be at where he is in the top of the pound for pound. Well, not the very top, but he's near the top of the pound for pound rankings for the men. Hopefully you enjoyed this breakdown. Hopefully it's been a little bit helpful to you. I'm just basically going through the pound for pound rankings, studying these guys myself, and I just then I go through and I screen record the things that I notice and just talk about it. So if you guys notice anything that I'm not picking up on here that is spectacular about Petr Yan, feel free to put it in the comments down below. Let me know if you want me to do a breakdown on anybody in particular. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you very much for your time.